every once in a while somebody brings a product to market that just makes you think, why didn't somebody come up with this before? Today we're going to take a look at such a product. So the product I'm talking about is this scope mount from RS Products. The scope mount is called the AKM mount, and it's designed to mount 30mm optic red dot sights to an AK platform. Now it uses the Russian left-hand side rail system to mount the optic to the rifle. This is very similar to the Russian mounts in that it uses a throw lever that pinches the rail on the side of the AKM. Now what makes this mount a little bit unique is the fact that it actually holds this 30mm red dot sight low enough to the receiver that you can still disassemble the rifle, but it also sets low enough where you can actually co-witness your iron sights through this Comp M2. Now as I mentioned, this is a 30mm tube mount, so any red dot sight that has a 30mm tube will work with this mount system. Let's take a closer look at it. Alright, first let's talk about the mounting system. I'm holding a PSOP Russian scope, and you can see the mounting system on this scope is this cantilever mount. Here's the new RS Products AKM mount. As you can see, the mount is pretty much identical. The difference being is that this Russian mount is made out of cast alloy, and it's relatively flimsy, and this mounting system works by pinching the rail, and getting this mount off requires this springing back to its original size. This alloy, in my experience, doesn't spring back, and you wind up having to kind of press this scope to get it off the mounting rail. The RS Products, on the other hand, is made from high quality steel, and this mounting system springs perfectly, so when I pinch it and release it, it pops back to its original size and slides right off the rail. I really like that. So mounting the scope to this rifle is super simple. You just slide it over this rail, rotate this lever, and you push down on this. There's a little locking detent here. You push down on this and slide it over, pops into place, and it's on there. It's a very positive mount system, and the beauty of this, as I mentioned earlier, is look how low this thing sets to the receiver. But it doesn't set low enough where it prevents you from disassembling your rifle. As you can see, I can completely disassemble the rifle with the mount attached without any problems. That's the real draw to this mount system. Now, there's another draw to this mount system. As you guys know, I'm a fan of the Midwest Industries rail system. It allows you to mount a red dot sight forward of your receiver, and it also allows you to co-witness. The only thing I don't like about this particular mount system is, while it does allow you to co-witness, if something happens to this red dot sight and it completely fails, like it gets caked with mud or becomes completely inoperable, you can't see through it, you have no quick way to get the optic off the rifle and fall back to your iron sights. With this particular RS product sight, all you have to do is remove the rail that quickly, and you can go right back to your open sights. That's a big bonus in my mind. The two features I really like about this mounting system are the fact that, one, it sets very low to the receiver. As you can see, as I mentioned before, it sets right across that top dust cover. The other thing is it takes the weight of this Comp M2 and perfectly balances it over the center of the rifle versus mounting it forward of the barrel system. So it doesn't change the balance of the rifle. It does add a little bit of weight to the rifle, but it adds it in a place that really doesn't affect the handling that much. And I think that's a major bonus to this system. Really, I'm having a hard time finding any faults with this system. Let's take a look at some of the adjustments that can be made to it. Now, speaking of faults, the only real fault I can see with this system of mounting an optic to an AK is if you take a look at this rifle I have configured with a right-hand folder. This works with the RS Products mount because it folds to the opposite side of the mounting system. If I remove this mount and place it on this SGL 2194, which has a standard Russian stock on it that folds to the left, you see that you can't fold and lock your stock. Now, fortunately, if you can say such a thing, these stocks aren't all that common, so there's not too many rifles floating around out there, but if you do have an original Russian hardware side folding stock, this might not be your best option because it actually disables the ability to fold and lock your stock. However, if you have stocks like the one on this, which is a right-hand folder, it works great. Also, like the Romy side folders, Romanians, they fold to the right-hand side as well, or the Tantal folders, if you have one of those, both common stocks on the surplus market. They fold to the right side as well and will work great with this mounting system. As you guys could see, most of the property right now is underwater. We're right on a river and it's past flood stage, so we really have very limited shooting area out here right now. Anyway, so we're only at about 30 yards and I fired 5 rounds really quickly with the scope on the rifle. I haven't zeroed it. This is just where it kind of wound up shooting as I put it on the rifle. I haven't taken the time to actually make adjustments to it. So what I'm going to do is, you can see where the first group landed. I'm going to take the scope off the rifle and I'm going to remount it and see how well that scope holds zero, that mounting system. Let's test it out. So let's go ahead and remove this scope. Just going to flip the lever here. Got it off the rifle. Let's go ahead and put it back on. Lock it down. See how it shoots. Run down range. All right, so we fired another 5 rounds, and as you can see, they pretty much landed right in the original group. Did have one little crazy shot here. Now, at the range I'm shooting at, using that scope, I can't really see any markings on this target. I'm just using a center of mass hold and firing 5 shots relatively quickly. So I would say you can actually remove that optic via that mount from the rifle and remount it as many times as you'd like, and it'll pretty much hold zero. Now, not all AKs are made the same. They have different variances, and this scope mounting system compensates for that, which is a really well thought out product in my mind. You can see these 2 bolts here and this dovetail. You can loosen these 2 bolts and let the scope upper half slide left and right, and then you lock it down and it'll stay in place, and it allows you to center the optic over the rifle. And as I said, not all AKs are made the same, so there are some variances. So it allows you to get your sight perfectly centered over your rifle, which is a nice touch. Now, if you're an operator and you're going to beat the heck out of this gun, and perhaps you might think that having these locked down with blue Loctite won't be enough, you'll see these punch marks. The kit comes with 2 pins and instructions on how to drill these 2 holes out and pin this. Once you get it centered for your rifle, you can drill these 2 holes out, put your pins in there, and pin this in place so it'll no longer move even if these things are loosened, these bolts are loosened. Again, well thought out. Another adjustment that you can make to fit this scope mount system to your particular rifle, again, there are variances in all AKMs. You can adjust the tension on this mounting system by simply popping this off here and you just lift this up and move it to adjust the tension, to lock it back into place. That's all that's required. That's to adjust the tension on how tightly it pinches the rail. Very simple and easy to do. Some final thoughts on this mounting system. I actually like it a lot. I like the fact that it holds zero. I like the fact that it mounts one of my favorite optics so low to the AK system, allowing me to co-witness this Comp M2 aim point. Overall, it's a very high quality product. It's well made. It works just as advertised. I like all the adjustments you can do to it to customize it to your rifle to fit it perfectly, and it holds zero. I really, aside from the side folding issue, can't find any faults with this product. It's a very well made product for $139. Now, you can find them online at the RS Products website, which is rsregulate.com. You can also find them online with various retailers like Brownells. I've seen them for sale on Brownells. So you can buy them a couple of different places online. Again, for the price, it's a very simple, easy to use mounting system, which, as you guys know, I'm a fan of the rail systems, the 4-end rail systems. But I really like this mounting system, and I'm probably going to wind up using this on a few of my AKs. The only downside is if you have a left-hand folder, mounting an optic there can be a bit of a problem. But I actually like some of these right-hand folders that are out there, so for me it's not that big of an issue. Anyway, Check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/military arms. If you have any questions about this product or anything else, you can find us there. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.